of diction in 17th century English poetry. The fate of the image of the music of the spheres compared unfavorably to particular singers' performance seems quite understandable. We're reading about the fate of the image of the music of the spheres in English poetry, compared unfavorably to the singers, and is understandable. An avoidance of cliché is possible only when the device is enlivened, as in the case of Lovelace, Carew, and Herrick, and even rendered grotesque by Randolph, with the wit of Concordia concours so highly disapproved of by Dr. Johnson. The lives of the English poets. He disapproves of the wit disapproved of by Dr. Johnson. The latter's judgment of Waller, incidentally, who he felt added something to our elegance of diction and something to our proprietary of thought, includes at one point a statement that suggests impatience with the cliché in question. He remarks in connection with Waller's shorter poem that some applications may be thought too remote and unconsequential, as in the verses on the lady dancing, the sun in figures such as these joys with the moon to play. To the sweet strains they advance, which do result from their own spheres, as this nymph's dance moves with the numbers which she hears. She's moving, dear, moves with the numbers that she hears. She's hearing numbers in the music of the spheres. While this is considerably less remote than the more terse and condensed conceits we have hitherto examined, it seems all the more inconsequential for being the more literally plausible, as of simile, dividing carefully what might otherwise mingle in the canonical form of the cosmic hyperbole, as an example of the real banality of the treatment of the device, coming at what we might also set as its point of decline of its use as complement, is one from the poet and emblem writer Philip Ayres, from his lyric poems, the beginning of the musical conqueress. Conqueress leads to an almost abrupt injection of the holy music, heavenly music, unprepared and unqualified by any pattern of imagery. Led by kind stars, one evening to the grove I spied my Cynthia in the walk of love. Her heavenly voice did soon salute my ears. I heard, methink, the music of the spheres. Do you think he heard it? Philip Ayres says this one. Yes, takes Ayres. Philip Ayres, from his lyric poems. Led by kind stars, one evening to the grove I spied my Cynthia in the walk of love. Her heavenly voice did soon salute my ears. I heard methink the music of the spheres. And here the trivialization seems complete. Why does he trivialize the music of the spheres? The fate of the reference to the music of the cosmos as the perfect Orphean manipulation of behavior thus seems sealed. It can, at best serve as a petty turn of speech. God, they made it petty. The music, I don't know. It's so petty now that they don't even talk about it at all. Let alone. A tradition of use of these images for purposes of a purely mechanical grace is not long in developing. One of the sociable letters of the prolifically literary Duchess of Newcastle, a collection that resembles complete letter writers of a later century more than it does the querulous and informed epistolary collections of James Howell, for example, contains what is unmistakably a model encomium on her singing, provides not only a sample polite compliment of a professional singer, but a graceful disclaimer of any real ability on the part of the genteel amateur authoring the praise. It is addressed to the sweet Madame Eleonora Durante, and commences with a little anecdote in which the occasion for the praise and the avowed modesty is framed. Quote, the last week, his sister Catherine and her sister Frances were to visit me. So well pleased I was with their neighborly and friendly visit, as their good company put me into frolic humor. And for a pastime I sung to them some pieces of old ballads, whereupon they desired me to sing one of the songs my lord made your brother set, and you were pleased to sing. I told them first I could not sing any of these songs, but if I could, I prayed them pardon me, for neither my voice nor my skill was not proper nor fit for them. Neither having skill nor voice, I should offer to sing any of them. I should so much disadvantage my lord's poetic wit, and your brother's musical composition, as the fancy would be obscured in the one, the art in the other. Nay, instead of music, I should make discord, instead of wit, sing nonsense, knowing not how to humor the words, nor relish the notes, whereas your harmonious voice gives their works both grace and pleasure, and invites and draws the soul from all other parts of the body. It draws the soul from all other parts of the body. He says that. With all the loving and amorous passions, to sit in the hollow cavern of the ear, as in a vaulted room, wherein it listens with delight, and is ravished with admiration, wherefore their works and your voice are only fit for the notice of souls, and not to be sung to dull and listening ears. Whereas my voice and these songs would be as disagreeing as your voice in old ballads. For the vulgar and plainer of voices, the better it is for an old ballad. For a sweet voice with quavers, and trillos, and the like, would be as improper for an old ballad as golden laces on the thrum of suit of cloth, diamond buckles on clouted and cobbled shoes, or a feather on a monk's hood. Whether neither should old ballads be sung so much in tune as a tone, which tone is between speaking and singing, for the sound is more than plain speaking, and less than clear singing, and the humming, rumming, and humming of a wheel should be the music to that tone, for the humming is the noise the wheel makes in the turning round, which is not like the music of the spheres. The soul that draws, the music of the sphere draws the soul from all other parts of the body. Here is only the doctrine of affections. We're talking about the doctrine of the affections, on which the Duchess of Newcastle can twist her epistolary embroidery. She allows the music of the spheres to stand merely for the other term in a comparison of extremes. It seems divested even as a metaphor of the feeling that accompanies the picturing of the soul in a vaulted room. Is that like the soul up at the 10th door or the third eye, listening to the music of the spheres in the vaulted room, ravished with admiration? The Duchess's refusal to sing may no doubt be laid to decorum and respect for the difficulty of singing recitative rather than to the courtly anti-professionalism of preceding generations. But at all events, the heavenly harmony, it's always a positive thing. The heavenly harmony functions for her as a neat, final fillip to suggest that her correspondence voice is perfection itself. And the fact that the noise the wheel makes in the turning round can be treated as its pole of unworthiness. Is that like modern machinery? It's unworthy. The gadgets and cars and the noise the wheel makes in the turning round indicates the degree to which the conceited actuality of the image had vanished during the previous 50 years to anyone who gave much thought at all to that sort of sound. It was that Cicero Scipio. Cicero Scipio heard in his dream the rumming and humming of a wheel. Could not help but present itself. But the celestial music has become, for the model letter writer, a dead metaphor. Who's killing it? We seem to be killing the celestial music here. But we are at least talking about it. The music of the spheres. We had read how music of the spheres draws the soul from all other parts of the body. At least before it declined. And moves with the numbers which she hears. She dances. The nymph's dance moves with the numbers which she hears. We had read about the fate of the image of the music of the spheres. We're reading from the Untuning of the Sky.